Why, hello, my friends, and welcome back to another episode of Voice of the Rings. I'm your hosting guide, Zollin Ironshield, and this is a LOTRO update. And today, we're going to talk a little bit about the brand new Legendary servers and the fact that they are 64-bit. What does that even mean? The servers are, not the game. The game has been for a while, the client. But this is very exciting because this means it's going to just destroy the lag stuff that a lot of people complained about for many years with this game, okay? I have not had a lot of lag in the last 4 or 5 years personally, but I know other people have. And a lot of people are already saying that it's super helped when they played on the server. And they had thousands of players join in the first few hours. And on both servers, they did it. And they also have a dedicated European server and a dedicated one for America, which is cool because a lot of the European servers have always been housed in North America. So that still gave delay, but now this one is actually dedicated for Europe. I don't know if that means it's actually housed there or if it just makes they're dedicated where it's a lot faster. I'm not entirely sure on that part, but we're going to read this article and find out, see if they have that information in here. Very excited. Now, Legendary servers are only for VIP. VIP in Lord of the Rings Online is a subscriber, okay? This is like a classic MMO. Now, I will tell you that they have not changed their subscription price for 17 years. So that's kind of awesome. You can still buy 3 months at a time, and it's $10 a month for the 3 months. Totally worth it. Or if you buy 1 month, it's $15. But that's been the same forever. But basically, they are also going to implement all of the 64-bit to all of the classic servers. So if you're someone that's a free-to-play person in a couple months from the time of this video you're watching, so if this video is 6 months old, it's probably been implemented is my guess. I'm assuming it'll be something around that. We'll see. But that will be very exciting because they're going to implement all of this into reality for every server. And I'm going to just tell you right now, as a player, okay, when I played it, I kind of was thinking, is this really going to help that much, right? Like, is it really going to help to do 64-bit on the server? I felt a big difference, okay? And I've played thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of Lord of the Rings Online since it came out. I've been playing since the very beginning of Lord of the Rings Online, right? Way before I had even this channel and started this content and being a content creator. I've been playing this game a long time, and that you get like muscle memory feelings and you kind of know how things work even with like delay or something. It was clearly, for one, I know graphically it looked better, and I think they didn't really update the graphics. I think what it had to do with is the fact that things were rendering quicker, faster. So like I didn't notice when things would like load in, because when you notice things load in, it breaks the illusion a little bit of any video game, right? And again, some people are like, oh, I don't like the art style. I love the art style of Lord of the Rings Online, right? And I think graphically it looks great. They've done a bunch of texture and graphical updates recently too. But with that out of the side, amazing speed on the loading of things. I've also noticed when I actually loaded, like a loading screen through a door or something. There's not a lot of those in LOTRO, but you go into a big fortress and it does that sometimes. Instantaneous. Faster than I did before. And I have a really good computer because I do content creation, and I could still tell the difference of the server sending me signals was faster. It was awesome. It was way faster. And also I noticed there was almost never lag spikes or like, you rubber band because there's like 40 people around you. Nothing like that. It was pure bliss. So anyway, let's go through the article now. But I just wanted to kind of give you guys that for those who might not be here for the whole time. Thank you for listening. But let's go ahead and move through it now. So the Veil of Nine. There's also a brand new system in it, but let's go ahead and read it before I tell you everything. All right. Also, let me just go to this one real quick, this page. This is when they opened the new Legendary servers. They're already open right now at the time of you watching this video. This is when they opened, and that's just a little side note. But we have enjoy the Tales of Middle-earth chapter by chapter, revisit iconic locations, an adventure with new or friends on paths of Frodo, Gandalf, and the Fellowship of the Ring. Now remember, with Legendary servers, they bring it out, and you got like 3 or so months to get to the original level cap of 50, and then they bring out the next expansion level cap, like 60, right? And then the next one, right? And the next one, that's kind of how it works with Legendary servers. And then by the end, the server will be closed, right? And then they'd sometimes do it again. But you can move your characters then to one of the classic servers, which will get the 64-bit update. And I'm really excited to see that too. I'm really excited to see it in like crafting and stuff. And like when you move stuff through your shared storage. There's occasionally little delays on that, or like loading into like your kinship house or something. I've always noticed that. Player for many years. I'm excited to see how much faster that'll be, because it's just the info coming from the server. So that'll be cool. Angmar and Mordor are the new legendary worlds, offering a special Veil of the Nine challenge, which is really... They spawn a lot. We're going to explain this, okay, through this video. These two worlds are also our first 64-bit servers, and Mordor is our first European. So yes, I believe it is based in Europe, the server for their new Mordor one. Just us and make a fresh start with a brand new character. See Tolkien's bustling realm anew. Whether you first or 15th time, Angmar and Mordor will open new regions and levels gradually over time. This is what I just explained to you guys, so I'm going to skip that. What are Angmar and Mordor? In addition to them having 64-bit, which is what I've already explained to you, they feature a new challenge called Veil of the Nine. This is I did not explain, so we're going to talk about this right now. The Veil of Nine is an event heralds the arrival of Nazgul, Sauron's most feared servants, who may appear across the world during your adventures as you search for the Ringbearer, posing a terrible threat to any unlucky enough to cross their paths. Now, right now, they spawn a lot, and some people were complaining that they spawn too much, but I kind of have as much as I felt the same way, I had the argument of, but later we're going to wish they spawned a lot if they reduce it, because you get like these little tattered things from them that you could turn in for like rewards. And also just so everyone, like from a lore perspective, a lot of people are like, well, is that realistic? There's Nazgul everywhere. Well, obviously it's a game, right, versus the norm, but like when it comes to like matching up with the lore, if you guys don't remember, there are other Nazgul besides the Nine, right? Like we all remember in the movie, Frodo's going to turn into a wraith. Well, the Nine are wraiths, the Nazgul, okay? Now, the thing is, the Nine are the ring bearers, right? They have the 9 rings of power, the Nazgul. So it's really like wraiths, right? Nazgul, wraiths, kind of interchangeable, Tolkien uses, but they aren't the ring bearers, right? There are in the game events that happen where one that does have a ring will pop up, and whoever kills it gets that ring, and then apparently would be able to use those rings for certain things. But let's go ahead and keep reading. Such is the power of the Nine that will take many fighting together to defeat them. The and again, the 9 are really big guys that show up in certain places, okay? The Nazgul pop up all the time when you're fighting things. All these Nazgul will pop up and fight you. They're pretty challenging because they scale to your level, not the area you're in. So if you're a high-level character, you're level 45, and you're in a level 10 area, the creature will still be level 45 that fights you. They're really strong. So it's really difficult if you make the area difficulty also hard. So keep that in mind. Let's see here. And then, such as the power of the 9, defeat them. The heroes of Middle-earth are advised to raise the hue and cry should they fall a soul of such evil, that allies might arrive in time to aid them. So again, you may want to work together with other people. It definitely helped. We had a couple of us playing the first day I played on the server. Certain abilities of the 9 are such terrible powers that the hero struck down by them will be unable to revive. Ooh. At the site of the battle, and will be forced to retreat. You have been warned. Oh, so normally in the game you get one free like spot revive in a world if you're not in an instance, and it's like a 2-hour cooldown. You won't be able to if they kill you. So you have been warned. I love that. That you have been warned in this article. You better have read this article or watched Voice of the Rings review of this article. I'm just teasing you guys. That deserves a like, right? All right, to aid in the battle against the 9 and the dreadful fear that follows in their wake, there are rumors that the 12 lesser rings of power forged as works to prove the methods of ringcraft before the forging of the great rings of power might yet be found throughout the world by those unlucky enough to stumble across them. So there we go. We got some lore being tied into the game. That these are lesser rings that we're finding. They're not the rings, the direct rings of power, right? It's also another thing. I love the terms rings of power. I know some people that don't like the Amazon series kind of have like don't like cringe at the name now. I still love this. Tolkien's the one that made up the name Rings of Power, people. Let's just point that out, okay? It's a cool name. That's why they used it for the TV show. And some people really like it. I reviewed it on the channel. There's some good stuff. There's some bad stuff. Moving on. This is LOTRO. Might be found throughout the world from unlucky enough to stumble across. In addition, servants of the Nine also stalk the lands. Nameless wraiths. See, there we go. That's what I was talking about, the difference between the Nine and the nameless wraiths, seeking out allies of Elrond and the Dunedain that might strike them down. These wraiths can be encountered by any hero once they reach level 10, which is true. I didn't see them until I hit level 10. And will pose a more frequent threat to adventurers. So there's the difference, okay? Like I've already explained, there's special events for fighting the Nine, and then there's wraiths that just appear all over the world, like I explained with the terminology for the lore. How do the nameless wraiths and Nazgul appear? The Veil of Nine challenge is only sometimes available on Angmar or Mordor, and the duration will be determined by the Game Masters of Standing Stones. Cool. And also, side note for everybody, I did do like a 3-hour stream starting the server, Angmar, on North America one. So if you'd like to check that out and kind of see what happens when I get attacked by Nazguls and stuff, you can check that out. It's all on the channel, so just keep that in mind. The appearance of one Nazgul is broadcast in the world chat, and players can coordinate their attacks and their arrive to the fight. They will not remain indefinitely, and players will need to bring considerable force to bear in order to defeat them before they return to the shadows. In order to claim the rewards of the defeating one of the Nine, you must receive the mark of the Nazgul in battle with them, be within 5 levels of the current server cap, because remember, it's going up over time, be logged in within a minute of the Nazgul's defeat. Okay, so those are the criteria to make sure you can pick up one of the rings from them. Should one of the Nazguls find itself forced so many heroes that the land itself threatens to crumble beneath their fury, it may choose to banish some of those present, who will find themselves lost in shadow and emerging elsewhere. Okay. All right. I think what this is a cute way of saying, if there's so many people there that the game is struggling and there's too many people in one spot for the server or something, that it's going to send them away and then do some kind of like event for them stuck in some shadow realm. Will they still get credit? Probably, I would assume. I'm not sure if that's what that means or not, or if I'm misreading that. You leave a comment. What do you guys think? What do I get for defeating those wraiths? Though now with the 64-bit, the servers can handle a lot more people in one spot. It's fantastic. I think that those the Weatherstock events will be even better once it's implemented for Landreval and all our classic servers, because actually they did a pretty Weathertop went really good. We had like 350 people the other few weeks back from this video, and there was really no lag. It was very nice, but that was even before the implement. So that once they implement 64-bit server, I think it'll really make it nice for that even more so. Defeating nameless wraiths can earn you Tattered Shadows. I've already talked about this a little bit. While defeating one of the Nine will grant you titles, accomplishment, as well as earning a Morgul coin. Cool. These shadows and coins can be traded in with Harried Scholar, all these people, who are in Esteldon, and engaged in researching ways to battle Saruman's deadliest servants. She can offer tools and aid you in your battle against the wraiths, as well as several cosmetic items, shadow pets, and title frames. Cool. There's some cool things you can earn. Again, I am going to try my best to play a little bit more on the server and do stuff, but at the same time, I don't want to... I want to put most of my time into our home server of CrickHollow, if you didn't know, on our channel. So, I want to play a little bit more of this. So I will be doing some more streams of this server as well. So if you want to play with me in my kinship, you're welcome to make a character there and play with me too. But just know I'm going to be putting most of my time still into my home world of CrickHollow. So I don't want people to feel like they need to like take all their time from CrickHollow and put it into this server. If you only have a certain amount of time to play, just put it into our CrickHollow for our kinship. Because that's where we'll be doing most of our events here on the channel, or just in the kinship in general with our other leadership. Additionally, tiers of reputation and barter rewards. That's just a little side note for my kinship. Sorry, everybody else who's watching. Rewards will appear on this person as the cap level of the server advances. Reputation is advanced via reputation items and offers. In return, the shadow coins. Cool. What is this about lesser rings of power? Ooh, they're going to give us some history. Lesser rings of power are fickle. Found when you and where they choose, with one only remaining for a handful of days before disappearing again. Once found, these rings may be passed between free folk as you see fit, but they will nevertheless eventually be lost and then must be found again. Ah, okay, and those are the things you're going to need for doing other certain events, I believe. Frequently asked questions. What is the current level cap? 50. That's where they started it. Classic level cap. Is player versus monster play available? No. Interesting. It kind of makes sense. They're focusing on the events right now. What happens when Angmar and Mordor reach the same level cap as the rest of the game? For Angmar, we intended to offer character transfer from the world to a non-legendary server of your choice. For Mordor, we intend to keep the world active and open for as long as financially viable to do so. In the event Mordor does shut down, we will make sure your characters get the opportunity to transfer to a different world. That's fair, because Angmar is the same. It's connected to all of the same American servers, right? So it wouldn't be any difference for us. But for Mordor, it's dedicated in Europe now. So, like, I'm sure people in Europe who want to play on it don't want to have to go back to having more lag from a farther distance, right? So that's a good idea. Is landscape difficulty available on Angmar and Mordor? Yes. Okay, this option difficulty settings is active as normal. Same during the encounters with the named ring race themselves. So this is going to make it much harder if you put on the landscape difficulty thing, which you get from the ranger. You have to do before you're level 11. I totally forgot in my run. You can see in my stream. I laughed about it. Where will ring wraiths and lesser wraiths appear? Lesser wraiths of all types will appear while you are in combat with enemies close to your own character's level. Ring wraiths will only sometimes appear, and your character must have achieved the level cap in order for a ring wraith to appear. Oh, interesting. Okay, that's for the ring wraith, not for the regular wraiths. Lesser wraiths are like what Frodo would have been turned into if Elrond hadn't healed his wound, right? Because the Morgul blade was turning into a wraith. There's lots of wraiths in Middle Earth. Okay, it's not just the Nine. I explained that already, but that's what they're talking about. All right, and then how do I know a ring wraith has appeared in the world? The world chat announces it, which we did see in my live stream for the first live stream about if you want to check that out. The location is up to the players to communicate with each other to coordinate their attack. All right. How long do ring wraiths appear if they are not defeated? After a half hour, the ring wraiths return to the shadows. Even if they are in the midst of combat, await their next attack. Oh, so like you hear the announcement and everyone's got to book it to that location. Gosh, you're probably... and the last time one came out, it was right next to Bree, so I'm assuming there are probably places you could teleport quickly to with stable masters, is my guess. What they're probably going to do, but dang. So you got to get there because you got to beat him. You run out of time right when you're about to beat him and he disappears. That would be a bummer. But, I mean, that's cool. It makes a cool mechanic. Can I play instances and skirmish in legendary servers? Yes. At level cap ones. Okay. Above the current level cap, legendary servers are not accessible level cap instances. Okay. What happens if I'm no longer VIP? But VIP is required for access. Yes, you have to be a subscriber to play on these two servers. But again, remember, the 64-bit will be moving to all the other servers. So keep that in mind. Now, you won't be able to do the Wraith event. That's going to be just for that. So, those servers. Will the 64-bit server come to the rest of the game? Yes, we intend to update all game worlds, but the 64-bit server in the future. There's what I just said. If I am not located in Europe, can I play on the Mordor server? Yes, you can, except the ping of the game perhaps will be slower. But, yeah. I still made a character on there. On Mordor, too. But I'm playing on Angmar, mainly. If I am located in Europe, can I play on Angmar? Yeah, so yeah, you can play on both. Back and forth. It's just going to be slower ping, like they said. What will happen to the European recommended game worlds, Serenon and Belgus, etc.? We will continue to support all of our game worlds. At this time, we do not intend to relocate these game worlds to a European data center. So that does indeed prove Mordor is indeed on a data center in Europe. Okay, to answer my question at the beginning. There we go. What is the difference between a legendary server and a standard server? I kind of already explained this to you guys. So you're gonna read that yourself. Can I access the LOTRO store on legendary server? Yes, but some items aren't available. Of course. It makes sense. Level cap things and stuff. It has to be level 50 until it goes up. Will I get anniversary gifts when I make a new character? Yes, you'll get all your anniversary gifts. However, some level restrictions, pre-order items aren't available until the Legendary Server world advances far enough for them to be unlocked. Probably like Umbar and stuff like that. If you bought the Umbar expansion, you won't get those until the new expansion pops out, and then you'll see them appear on your character in your account. That's my guess for all of that. Can I transfer my shared storage items from a Legendary server to a non-Legendary server? Are only available for Legendary worlds when characters transfer on a Legendary. Okay, all right, yeah, there we go. Transfers of shared storage items are only available from Legendary worlds when character transfers are available on a Legendary world. So they're not available right now, but you can transfer between other worlds. If I purchase an account-based service or item from LOTRO's store on the Legendary server, does it apply to non-Legendary servers as well? Oh, that's a good question. Yes, additionally, previously purchased account-based items are available on both worlds. Cool. There you go. Now you all know. No. Same game client. You don't need to download a different client. Be available Legendary server, yes, but they have to unlock the Moria story first. So not yet. The Legendary servers have festival anniversary events. Yes, most of the events will still be on there. Okay, cool. Can a character boost a Legendary boost on the Legendary server? While the use of experience potions and items are permitted, players are not able to purchase level boosts like Gift of the Valar. Yes, that's good, because the whole point of it is to relive the level. Like, it'd be weird if it was on there. If I previously purchased an expansion quest, will it be available to access? Yes, any previous expansions will be honored, allowed to access on Legendary once they're at that point in the story. It's kind of like the other question. Is the Legendary server a classic or vanilla server? By the most description, a classic server is an attempt to recreate LOTRO exactly as it was at launch, using only assets and content that was available in 2007. A Legendary server runs alongside existing servers and therefore contains many of the changes that had been made to the game over the years, such as UI improvements, bug fixes, changes to the game, in case updates, layout of the regions, maps, all that. There's a bunch of stuff, okay? So basically, no, a classic server, vanilla server, is something like the game would look awful. Just kidding. And back then it looked good, okay, 17 years ago, but today it looks a lot better than it used to. You know that comment I always make, look at that water. Everyone who watches the channel knows that joke. The water just looks so much better in LOTRO than it used to. Alright, so anyway, with that, my friends, we pretty much covered the new Legendary servers in full on this LOTRO update. Thank you for watching, my friends. Thank you to my Patreons. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing, leaving a comment. What do you think? Are you excited about these? I am. I've already played some. I'll be playing more. If you want to see us play more, don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next episode of Voice of the Rings. Barukazad Kuzad. I menu. Subscribe button. Also, you can join our Discord down there. voiceoftherings.com. Go to the social media tab. And, ja. See you in the next ones, my friends. Stay happy.